Firefighting airplanes have been at work all day attacking this fire from above. We want to show you some new images. This is what's left of Worth Ranch, an historic and beloved scouting ranch where scouts go every summer. You can see the destruction there, not much left of that facility. Our Aaron Heft is on the ground in Palo Pinto County this afternoon to explain how this wildfire just blew up overnight, and it's been a tough fight for first responders.
Erratic and aggressive. That's how state officials are addressing the conditions of the Ross fire. You can see this is one of those road closures within the fire zone. The fire aggressively burning behind us. You can just see the plumes coming off of these burn scars. Winding our way back into the burn scar, scorched earth covering tens of thousands of acres. We made it over this hill to find homes surrounded by char marks and completely untouched.
Property owner would be appropriate.
It's here we met Justin Lane, the property owner for the last 27 years. He wasn't sure his home would make it. The cameras on the property cut out last night around 3 o'clock in the morning, and yet here everything stands.
On the hill, we saw it come over the hill, and then about 3:30 in the morning, and that's when we thought we lost the houses. So, and we got here at 7 this morning, and we were shocked that we had houses.
Though we turn our back and the Ross fire burns just several hundred yards away from where we stood for our interview. With changing conditions, the numbers are also changing. State and county officials are tracking those. We will bring you the latest as we receive them, and their top priorities, according to the county, they're saying lives and structures. In Palo Pinto County, I'm Erin Heft.
We've been talking about this a lot lately, Cassie. In fact, we were talking about this with this exact fire yesterday when it wasn't nearly as big. We just had this extreme heat and these dry conditions that are really fueling this.
Yeah, and add a little bit of wind to that as well. The humidity's been very low, and at least today we've had some rain across parts of North Texas. But when we're looking at radar, what we're looking at right here, just north of the Brazos River, well, this is all moving off to the north. This is smoke. This is that fire that is still currently burning. So we've got that south wind, so it's carrying that smoke off to the north and east. Now, looking at a much wider view of satellite and radar, of course, we did have a few showers since earlier this morning and a couple of raindrops now making its way back into North Texas. Of course, it didn't amount to a whole lot. Amounts were very minimal. In fact, we didn't get anything officially at DFW, but there was almost a quarter of an inch in parts of far northeast Texas. Right now, though, temperature-wise, it's still very hot, especially out west. We're still at 103 degrees in Mineral Wells, 107 right now in Breckenridge, and sitting at 102 degrees in McKinney. Overnight tonight, things look pretty quiet. We actually do have another chance of rain tomorrow. We're going to talk about what that coverage looks like during the day coming up in just a little bit. Jason.
All right, thank you very much, Cassie. Officials have shut down several roadways as firefighters are working to contain the Ross fire. Again, at last check, though, it was just barely contained at 5%. Our Stacia Wilson is on top of closures in the area and joins us now to talk more about that because, Stacia, in some cases, they're having to do evacuations as well.
Yeah, so this is what we're seeing right now, Jason, just giving you kind of a wide overspread view of what's happening with the Metroplex. So we obviously need to go to the west to find out more about the situation involving the fire. This is just a general kind of outline of where we're seeing these mandatory evacuations. This has been a developing situation that is literally changing by the hour. So we're going to continue to update you on this, but you can see it primarily affects this southern portion of Jack County, south of Jacksboro, and then just north of 180. Portions of 180 are closed to the west of where the fire is located, where the Ross fire is located. You also have additional road closures that we're looking at to the north of that location. So just kind of giving you a general perimeter, some of the areas we're seeing around Graham that are closed with those roads. Highway 337 north of 254 just to the west of 337. And that is primarily where we're seeing those road closures. Obviously, where you have any evacuations going on, those roads are going to be open so people can get out. But any road that's being threatened by the fire, getting notifications that those will remain closed. So even it is far to the west, still in our area where we're able to track it with our maps. We're going to continue to update you on this situation and let you know about anything else we find regarding the road closures as well as evacuations. Jason?
Absolutely, Stacia. Thank you so much for that. We're, of course, going to continue covering this fire all evening as crews are still struggling to get a handle on those flames. You can look for any new updates at WFAA.com and on our WFAA app, and, of course, any new big developments here during this hour as well. This was hard news to take this afternoon. Her music spanned generations, and she was loved almost universally, you could say. Country music superstar Dolly Parton has passed away. Here is a live look this afternoon from the Hollywood Walk of Fame where her star is located. You can see people gathered there, some people being interviewed. People have been laying flowers there at her star all afternoon. Dolly Parton's death comes just months after she revealed she was battling some health challenges. ABC's George Pinocchio takes a look back at Dolly Parton's remarkable life.
Dolly Parton was on the showbiz clock for more than 60 years. Making her mark took time, talent, and tenacity. She got her start writing songs, one of the many things we discussed when I had the pleasure of sitting down with her for a long interview in 2023.
When I was 7, I got pretty good on the guitar, and when I got pretty good on the guitar, then I got pretty good at writing songs.
She sure did. At 21, she was invited to appear on Porter Wagner's popular TV show, and a star was born. By then, Dolly was ready to set out on her own. She wrote Wagner a farewell song. It became a massive hit. Along the way, she won too many awards to count. She told me that the one that made her proudest of all, the American Songwriters Hall of Fame.
When I got put into the Country Music Songwriters Hall of Fame, that was a big deal. But then I got put into the big one, up there with the big guys, the biggest of all, the Gershwins and all that.
She received an Oscar, the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award, and it was well-deserved. Among her many charitable ventures, a $1 million donation that helped develop the COVID vaccine, several $1 million for disaster relief after the Tennessee wildfires, and her imagination library, sending free books to small children around the world. As of today, more than 300 million books and counting.
That was George Pinocchio bringing us that this afternoon. Dolly had plenty of ties here to North Texas as well, including a fairly recent appearance. You may remember when she performed at the Cowboys' big Thanksgiving halftime show back in 2023, dressed up just like the Cowboys cheerleaders. Still had it after all those years.